When you were like watching the demos up there, what is it like? Is it weird to see this character that you play in human form, human playing an android, on screen, you know, as a video game like character? Is that?
It is crazy. It's almost like you're going to live forever, and there's a mix of maybe I'm not even necessary anymore. You know, that's going to live 10 times longer than me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my kid would my child would love to manipulate Bishop.
Yeah.
Throw him around. And
take out any aggression on you.
Take it all out. So anyway, it's cool. It's really
yeah. Is you know, as an actor, like, do you think like that's just more and more what you're going to kind of see, like these sort of digitized versions of?
In the future, there's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know, somebody had the philosophy that if the economy goes worse,
yeah,
which it looks like it's going to, that people are going to resort to entertainment just for relief. You know, and because it's more abundant. Like, look what they've done with the cell phone.
Yeah.
So that kind of creation is going to be so abundant. You know, people are going to go for it.
Yeah. Well, when you're doing like the voice acting, and then you maybe see the demo, was there ever a point where you were kind of having flashbacks to actual production, or where you were thinking about?
Oh, absolutely. I could smell it.
Yeah.
Some of those scenes were so accurate to the movie that I remember when I walked on the set, I could smell the paint and the sweat from all of us running through it and all of that stuff. It was really like an effective memory.
Yeah.
Just looking at it.
Yeah. It's
the gunpowder going off. I mean, I remember all of this.
Except $15 million budget at the time was, you know,
that was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was still a lot of money, and now like they can do anything. So they can, you can see stuff on screen that you weren't able to do within the film, right? Like,
you know what? It doesn't look like it needed it, did it? I mean, really, when you think about it, I saw it 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I thought, this thing is still works. It's not a dated movie.
No, not at all. It's well, which is why this is such the perfect movie to base the video game on.
You're right. Yeah.
You also have the comic book out with Dark Horse, right?
Yes, I do.
And
I've been working on that for a year already.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that for a while. Is it out yet, or we?
It comes out 12/12/12.
12/12.
And it's called To Hell You Ride.
All right. So right before the world ends.
Yeah, the world ends. Okay. I'm not going to start giving my stuff away.
So I mean, what? Tell us a little bit about that. Like, what?
Well, you know, it's about a curse that happens in its own time. In other words, in a sense, there is no such thing as time. It's really what is going on today is a direct result of everything that went on 50 or 100 years ago. And time doesn't stop. And its slow arc to today happens. It's common. And I don't want to tell you too much because I don't want to blow it, but we've done so much good work. We're working on this. You know Tom Mandrake?
Oh yeah.
He's a brilliant guy, and we're working where we Skype almost every other day. We're writing, and Tom is doing pencils and inks. It's fantastic. I've become a geek.
Yeah, were you a fan of comic books before this?
When I was a kid, Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, great, okay.
But then McCarthy was talking about how it's destroying our children, so they burned all my comics.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
the comics code and everything.
All that baloney. Look at how far we've come.
Yeah. But, you know, speaking of how far we've come, I mean, you look at your career path, and you've got Aliens, you've got, with Frank Black, you were dabbling in the paranormal and supernatural, the comic books.
I mean, I've really done a lot of variety.
Well, are like some of the paranormal and the unexplained elements of your career, is that just like coincidental career choices, or do you actually believe in life out there? Do you believe in like monsters and ghosts or anything?
I have hopes about getting visited.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we're on Mars lasering rocks.
Right.
If we laser the right rock, somebody might come and visit us. You know, I mean, I would love that.
Like you personally, you want like a little gray alien to pop into your bedroom and be like, hey, Lance.
That would be fun.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, I'm not afraid of that.
Would you go with him? Would you go hang out with him?
It depends on what he smelled like. It depends on how much goo he had on.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean. It's like, but I think that we're ready for every early days. They were looking for intervention to save them from the Holocaust of the nuclear age, the beginning of the nuclear age, and we wanted to be rescued by an alien.
Yeah.
Or God, but we took it and made it an alien. And now we're ready for it because I think everybody's feeling a big turn away from being just, you know, like guys, servants that work for the castle or the government. We're all really going for enlightenment now, I think that's the big change.
That's one of the 2012 prophecies, apparently.
Yeah, we're listening to our own voices and you know, getting better at it.
So have you personally ever like experienced anything like either seen something crazy in the sky?
I did, but if I were to tell you about it, it's too crazy. It's just too crazy. All right, I'll tell you.
Yeah, please, yeah.
I rode a freight train when I was a kid. I ran away from home when I was about 14, riding a freight train through the night, all through the Midwest. And at one point, the freight train stopped. They left those cars there in the middle of cornfields. And it was silent, dead silent. And I get off because I was freezing. It was heading into the winter. And I'm standing at an intersection like this, where the railroad tracks is right by it. And I'm standing there, and a car comes by, like a 36 Ford, and it was absolutely silent. There wasn't a sound, and there was no lights or nothing. And it drifted right up to where I was, and I look in the window, and there is a gray looking at me. And then it just went on its way. And it was so startling. My whole life I thought, I was so tired that I imagined that? Or did that really happen? But it was one I'll never forget. Like I can bring it up in a heartbeat.
Like a gray alien, like a little
a gray.
What year was it?
Just looking at me. I was 14, so that's 54.
So that's really before the Greys were really that popularized in pop culture. So nobody you saw this thing that
it was just staring at me, and it was. But the odd part was it was moving just at a kind of slow pace. And when I got to where I was standing, it slowed down and kind of arced around me a little bit, and then left. And I just went, "What the hell was that?" And it didn't scare me. It just made me feel like I'd been through something and didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a car. I thought it was a 36. It was green. The car was green.
It's like an X-Files.
It was just a moonlit night. There was no other light.
That may have had ripple effects in your career, like being drawn into this. Well, and then
the guy could have been touched or something.
Right.
I imagine.
Well,
here you're going to do well.
Or he was just going for a joyride, an alien joyride.
Yeah, and he was saying, "What is that?" He was seeing me there, going, "Look at him, he's pink."
Yeah, he's gray. You're pink. Well, I also just real quickly, I noticed that you're doing like a fair amount of like conventions. I see you popping up at like horror conventions. I don't know. I think you're going to be at.
I had a biography that came out.
Right, last year, right? Yeah.
Last year, and this year now it's the comic book, and I'm a great believer in supporting whatever you do. You know, like really support it. Go out and get people to look at it.
Yeah.
Because we're proud of this one. I'm very proud of this comic. There's 3 of us that work on it.
Yeah.
We've been at it over a year, and we're still as enthusiastic as the day we started it.
Yeah.
I mean, lit up. I don't mean just casually. We're using that kind of process to make it happen.
So you really feel like you're like a new geek, like you're, you know, fresh geek.
You know, Tom Mandrick had to teach me the stages that go into make a comic. You know, you go from script to pencils to inks, then you get captions done, and you get the voice bubbles if you're going to use them, and you get the color and the art.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long process, and everybody has to, the way we're working, everybody has to be satisfied with the growth of the story and what really makes it strong. Also, storytelling with pictures, just pictures, is a really wonderful discipline because you have to be specific.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a mishmash. It's a bunch of pages that nothing happens on.
Well, I went by the Dark Horse booth earlier today. I was going to check in. I saw you talking to Mike Mignola and a couple other guys. So, like, now that you've done this, now that you're this creator, I'm sure Dark Horse is sending you a bunch of swag, like comic books. Has this turned you into a geek for other stuff? Or?
No, they haven't sent me anything. We're
to make that happen. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but Mike Richardson. When this happened, I had written a script 20 years ago for a movie that nobody knew who I was and they wouldn't make the movie, so the script laid around for a long time and it was lost.
Yeah.
And then I was up at Comic-Con down in San Diego, and Mike Richardson said, "Hey Lance, you want to do a comic? You want to do one?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay, that's a deal now."
Yeah.
Stuck his hand out, we shook hands, and that was it.
Yeah.
What immediately came to my mind, the reason I said yes, is I wanted to do that script that I'd written 20 years ago.
So might it still happen?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't want to make promises to comic people because they can get very disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it will, but I know that all the things that made me want to write a script and the love I have for that particular kind of story is in this comic. So I'm very happy about that. I really am.
Well, and last question, what has been like, either at the cons or whatever, what's been like the coolest fan moment that someone has had with you where either they said, you know, I remember, like Bishop made me go do this, or, you know, like...
So much of that. Like what I was saying about the Marines that I run into. I mean, these guys are what, like 35 or something, and they've been in Iraq, Afghanistan, or wherever they've been. They came up and said to me, literally, a guy was in for 7 years, and he said, when I saw aliens, all I wanted to be from then on is a Marine. That's because of, you know, the Colonial Marines. And they're not kidding. They went in the Marines.
Yeah. So like
they still love it. And they go, Bishop, hey man.
Yeah.
You know, they want to tell me that story. And it really gets you because, you know, it shows you also the kind of... there's a pureness about youth that says it focuses and it wants to do it.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully it doesn't make anybody want to be an android either. Like, because I don't know, that's right around the corner. Someone's gonna come up. They're gonna come up with an android, and it's gonna give you they're gonna give the likeness of you to that android.
Yeah, but then I get like 20 cents for everything.
Yeah, likeness royalties. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.